Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It's me, Miranda, and for this video I wanted to try the Happy Home Paradise 4x4 challenge. Today I will be doing 4 different vacation home designs, and if all goes according to plan, this video should be uploaded on the 14th. Now I do want to be forthright and say that this video was inspired by Froggy Crossing. I even followed the same rule set as her, so not only am I doing the smallest room size possible, but I'm also using whatever furniture the villager requests, as well as sticking to their theme. With that foreword out of the way, I will stop trying to force these puns on my dear viewers and head to the airport. I'll tell Wilbur the 6 words I never thought I'd say. I want to go to work, and we are off. Once I get to the island, Nico excitedly tells me about some new DIY recipes that he's come up with, and after that I headed off to the office. There I bought this giant flower thing, and then I went to scope out some villagers for our 4x4 vacation homes. While I was checking out the villagers that were here on the beach, I did end up finding a DIY that I did not have yet, which is always really nice. Gotta love finding new DIYs. And so I looked at all the villagers again, but I did ultimately go with Sydney here. She said that she'd never worked in an office before and she wanted to know what it was like. I don't know why, but for some reason this girl wanted her vacation home to be an office. So I decided to do her one better. Once I got everything squared away and I'd unpacked her items, I decided to not just give her an office, but her own little cube. For the wallpaper, I did end up going with the obvious choice of the office wall, but I added a more simple accent wall by the door and hung a lot of items on it. I don't know about anybody else, but anytime that I'm in the office, I'm like constantly checking the clock to see if it's time to go home yet. After that, I added some fluorescent lights to the ceiling, which are a true office staple. Some days when I go into the office at work, someone will forget to turn the lights on in the morning, and I always kind of like that because those things are bright. Sydney really wanted to have this giant stack of papers here, so I moved those onto the filing cabinet and picked out a nice boring office chair for her. I also gave her a desktop computer, which I'm just now realizing doesn't actually have a mouse. I don't know how she's supposed to get any work done with that, but whatever. I also really struggle with that stupid trash can. You see me move it around a lot, and I thought about giving her some more office supplies, but I think I ultimately just kind of stuck that piece of paper on the floor there and went with it. Once I finally settled on a rug for underneath Sydney's desk, it was time to go back to putting things on the wall. Of course, Sydney had to have a phone right next to her desk so that she could take calls while she did her job, and I also put a formal paper on the wall to signify that, maybe she has some sort of certification to do her job. I also thought about putting like a villager poster on the wall, like a employee of the month sort of situation, but I decided that it didn't really look good, so I just kind of added, basic cleaning supplies like a broom and stuff, and then I called it done. I really don't know what kind of madman wants to have their vacation home be an office, but you know what? You do you, Sydney. I hope you love your little cubicle. This is what you wanted. It's your life now. So, yeah. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this design. I think it turned out pretty well, and it's one of the more interesting 4x4 builds that I did. Weird transition here because I had to record on a different day. Anyway, I went outside to look at the villagers, and interestingly, Kit was here again the next day whenever I was playing again, but I didn't end up going with her actually, sorry Kit. I decided to go with Grizzly this time instead, he wanted a fancy place filled with stuff rich folks like. Sure! Little funny how that turned out, because if you'll notice whenever we get into the home, it says instead that he wants a magnificent mansion. Whoops. The giant car was a little bit difficult to work with, but I think this one turned out okay. I used a fancy blue wallpaper as well as a gold accent wall, and then just kind of stuck a bunch of fancy looking items on the wall and a lot of gold stuff like this chandelier lamp thing. I also gave him a formal paper thinking, you know, maybe he's accomplished something that he's proud of and he wants to have that on display. And I also put a bunch of his picture up there because I just thought that would be kind of funny, and maybe he's very self-centered. I also put the bottle shelf thing thinking, you know, maybe he's a wine connoisseur, he likes drinking some wine, he's a man of fine taste. He has this big fancy chandelier thing and a bunch of gold, like this knight dude that I liked. I think he's really fun. And then I also wanted to put a phonograph in here and play some music for this man. I spent way too long picking a song, but you know what? We had to give him the best that we could. All right, we made it work. So after deciding on a song, I just was pretty done with this. I'm not sure how much poor Grizzly likes it. I do feel a little bad that he wanted a mansion and instead he got this tiny little 4x4 room. But you know what? He's gonna have to take what he can get, okay? I mean, look at his face though. Does this look like the face of a man who is happy with his home? I'm not so sure. Moving right along, I decided to go with Willow for my next 4x4 vacation home. Her theme worked really well for this challenge. Each item that she wanted only took up one space, and some of them could even be stacked on top of one another. But not only that, I just think that she's a really cute villager. I mean, she's this little yellow and pink lamb. Absolutely adorable. Love her. But yeah, I decided to just kind of make this into what I would want for a coffee home. It's very cozy, nice green colors, very, very soft and cool. Fancy chair to read her books on while she drinks her coffee. I also added a lot of plants and some atmospheric wind sounds, some atmospheric lighting. But unfortunately, I do think that this build is probably the most boring of the ones that I did. I mean, I like it, but I feel like there's more that I could have done or added in here. And I'm honestly not really even sure what all to say about it. I tried to pick out a rug, but I think I just kind of ran out of space and ideas that would look good together. So yeah, hopefully Willow at least likes it. Alright, so this last one really threw me for a loop, and I wasn't even sure if I could do it. After looking at the villagers that were on the beach again, I decided to go with Bubbles. She wanted a seaside photo shoot, which I thought could be really fun and might work with this theme pretty well, pretty easy, but no, I was very wrong, because a lot of the items that she wanted took up a lot of space. I mean, the bistro table and the breaker, I think it's called, both take up, what, like 4 squares? So that made it really hard. I also didn't really consider the fact that, you know, I was going to use a beachy wallpaper, but then it would look kind of weird if I put items on the walls. So I literally panicked whenever I first walked into the room, and I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I should. But, you know, I think I kind of made it work pretty well. I gave her one of the walls as like a little fishy background. I did a floor that's like a sea flooring. I gave her like a little shell lamp next to the bed that she wanted. And yeah, you can see I'm really having a hard time, but then I like these little seagulls that you can put on the ceiling. I think they added a lot of interest to the room, as well as this panel thing that you see me using. I think that actually really helped frame some shots at the end. It kind of helped separate things out, but yeah, this one was tough. I wanted to put more items down, like I think you see me put down in a moment a palm tree lamp. I had to make room for it, but Bubbles did not like this. Like, you'll see her complain about it a good couple of times, and I tried to take out the shell lamp, but nope. It was the palm tree. I guess she couldn't actually get in the room with it there, so it makes sense, but you know, it looked better. It looked better, okay? So anyway, I feel a little bad about this one too. I do think it looks better than the coffee one, I think, maybe, but yeah, this one was so hard because the items were so big. I really wasn't sure I could do it, but you know what? I don't hate it. I think it's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm just kind of chilling with Wardell now, but I really hope that you enjoyed the video. I know that I had a lot of fun making it. These 4x4 challenges, while they were, you know, challenging, they were really fun to make, and I had a good time. So if you want to see more like this, be sure to like the video and subscribe, and maybe I can do something like this again in the future. See you next time. Bye!